Good good morning, good afternoon, good evening, all of the above. Welcome to the Packers pregame show, a game on Wisconsin. My name is MJ Hurley, and we have a divisional NFC North matchup for you today. I am very excited for the next 30 minutes of pregame coverage with you. Warning, my voice is a little dead, so if you hear that, I apologize. I'm going to do my best. So the way you can help me out is give me as many comments in the comment section as possible. For those of you watching on Facebook and those of you watching on Twitter, the comments do not show up very well. So if you're watching on Facebook or Twitter, go to our YouTube channel at Game on Wisconsin. That's the best way you can comment and interact with the show. Subscribe. That way you get notifications when we go live again in the future. So we have Packers versus Minnesota Vikings today. NFC North matchup. It's always a good time. So we have a lot of things to break down. There are a lot of injuries to break down today. There's just a lot of chaos that we have to go over in the next 30 minutes. So I'm going to be here with you. As always, you guys know what's going on. We got offensive and defensive keys to the game. Will be coming later on. We're going to do our best to avoid talking about special teams because that's just something I really don't want to talk about right now. But again, we got an NFC North matchup. No matter what the records are, this is always going to be a close game. The Minnesota Vikings play the Green Bay Packers very, very well, especially at home. So that's something we're going to dive into, as always, later in the show. But first and foremost, ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? How are we feeling? Green Bay Packers at 8-2, going into Minnesota for a divisional round matchup. How are you feeling about the Green Bay Packers? How are you feeling about our season? We're the number one seed in the NFC. We're the number one seed in the NFL. With all of the injuries we have had, with all of the chaos, all of the controversy, all of the drama, I would not have thought that the Green Bay Packers would be 8-2, sitting as statistically the best team in the NFL. A lot of people have their own opinions. A lot of people don't think the Green Bay Packers may be Super Bowl bound, and they are entitled to those opinions. However, with some of the teams the Packers have beat, with the way Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers are playing, this is the team to beat in the NFC moving forward. And again, we'll dive into that a little bit later. So just to give a general breakdown, I like giving you guys just a whole picture of the way this football game may go. Green Bay is favored by 1 point. Minnesota is at home, at US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. So they get 3 points in that spread, which means Green Bay is actually favored by about 4. That's the line we're looking at right now. Spread -1, and then money line 125 for the Packers, over under at 47.5, which I think is a little low for these two teams. Yes, Green Bay's defense has been incredible, but an over under of 47.5 is not exactly the over under I was looking at with my prediction. But not to get too ahead of ourselves, we will get to that later. Kirk Cousins has actually been playing one of his best seasons so far. In 2021, Kirk Cousins thrown for 2,400 yards, 18 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. A guy that we normally like to make fun of a lot, and it's warranted. It's absolutely warranted to make fun of Kirk Cousins. But wow, he's playing some of the best football of his career. Now, he's in a very good situation. The man has two top 15, 2 top 20 receivers in the NFL if you want to be safe. He has a top 5, if not top 3 running back in the NFL. So Kirk Cousins is in a very, very good situation, and he has not faced a defense, in my opinion, that matches up to what the Green Bay Packers can offer. Now, we do have some injuries on the defensive front, and again, we'll get to that later in the show. It's going to be, no matter what anyone says, it's going to be a close game. That's something that we're just going to have to live with, and we can work with that. It's a divisional matchup, and the Packers play the Bears. It's not always a blowout, even if the Green Bay Packers are the significantly better team. So pre-snap game on Wisconsin, sponsored by Artec Ventures. Packers versus Vikings, Week 11. Like I said earlier, if you're watching on Twitter or Facebook, make sure you go to the YouTube channel so that you can comment on there. Comments on Twitter and Facebook don't always show up for me. So if you want to interact, if you have questions, comments, concerns that you want me to talk about, make sure you go over to the YouTube channel and you get notified when we go live there as well for all the amazing shows. I just real quick want to talk about what Game on Wisconsin has been doing this week. In about a 2-day span, Game on Wisconsin had Marquez Valdez-Scantling for the MVS show every week on Tuesday, 7 p.m. Central. We had the MVS show. Kenny Clark was on Game On Wisconsin, and Randall Cobb was also on Game On Wisconsin. So we've had a lot of very important Green Bay Packers people on in the last week, and now we're going to be covering one of the biggest games of the year for the Green Bay Packers. So I just wanted to brag about Game On Wisconsin real quick. We're doing amazing things, and as always, thank you to Our Tech Ventures for allowing us to do some of this. So amazing work over here at Game On Wisconsin. Jacob's excited. Food Stamp, my guy, is excited about the defense. Go, Pack, go. So the first thing I want to go over today is the injury report. A very unfortunate injury report, but that's the way it is. So for the Packers, Alan Lazard is out. Rashawn Gary is out. David Bakhtiari still not playing. Those are the big injuries for the Green Bay Packers. Also out, Jack Heflin, Vernon Scott, Malik Taylor. So we've got some practice squad elevations. Jonathan Garvin will be the starting edge rusher opposite Preston Smith today. Edge rusher, outside linebacker, whatever you'd like to call him. So that's what the Packers are looking at. On the Vikings side, nothing crazy. Harrison Hand, Kellen Mond, Chaz Surratt, and Amir Smith-Marset, which I only know how to say because of my good friends Jake and Mason in the draft community. That's what Minnesota is looking at. So the Packers definitely are hurting on the injury side. They are definitely the team losing the most on the injury side right now. Again, another place on the injury side is Aaron Rodgers has a toe injury that, according to Tom Pelissero, how do you say that man's name real quick? Hold up. I got a question. How do you say his name? Pelissero? Tom Pelissero? We're going to go with that. Tom Pelissero this morning said it's actually an injury that affects Aaron Rodgers, and it apparently, according to Tom, is an injury that the Green Bay Packers are worried about moving forward. So that is something to monitor. Obviously, we've got so many injuries. Aaron Jones out as well, obviously. So we've got a lot of injuries to monitor for the Packers. Aaron Rodgers needs to be healthy. I don't care what you say. If this football team wants to win a Super Bowl, Aaron Rodgers needs to be healthy. So that toe injury that apparently is limiting him a little bit, he's only had 15 live reps in the last month because of COVID, short week, and now this week he only had 15 actual reps on Friday. Even with Aaron Rodgers only having 15 reps, he's still so much better than Kirk Cousins. So I'm not worried in that sense, but over a longer period of time, our starting quarterback, our Hall of Fame quarterback, the greatest football thrower of all time, needs a few reps maybe to actually get some work done and get some chemistry going with the guys and all of that. So as always, comment if you have any comments, questions, concerns. I'm going to do my Around the NFL, and then we're going to jump into offensive keys to the game. But since we're going at the noon game, I just want to look at Around the NFL, just take a quick peek at some of the games today, some of the matchups I'm interested in, and some of the things that will affect the Green Bay Packers the most. So first game I want to look at is Ravens versus the Chicago Bears. The Green Bay Packers have a 4-game lead on the NFC North. And if the Baltimore Ravens, sitting at 6-3, can take down the Bears today, pretty much puts the Bears out of contention. With 7 losses, there's no way the Packers are going to fall all the way from 2 to 7 losses by the end of the season. So if the Ravens can win today, in my mind, that safely puts the Chicago Bears out of contention for anything in the NFC North and makes it a little easier for Green Bay the rest of the year. The other game, everybody needs to pay attention to this game while the Packers are playing. I don't care. It's Tim Boyle and the Detroit Lions against the Cleveland Browns. I'm going to repeat. Tim Boyle is starting at quarterback for the Detroit Lions today, and that might actually be an upgrade over Jared Goff. Honestly, the Lions are 0-8-1 with that tie to this with the Steelers last week. Browns are 5-5. They're just a confusing football team, and honestly, I really do think if anybody's going to get the Lions their first win, it's Tim Boyle. So I'm excited for that. That's definitely a game to watch. And then a couple other games that have an impact on the Green Bay Packers. Cowboys-Chiefs is the game of the week on Fox, 3:25 this afternoon. So if Cowboys win, They're going to keep up with the Green Bay Packers. They would be 8-2 in that situation. So that game is important. And then Cardinals on the road going to Lumen Field in Seattle. They are playing the Seahawks. So must-win game for the Seahawks. Again, if they lose, they're pretty much out of playoff contention for the most part, at least I would say. And then the Cardinals, if they win, they keep up with the Packers. Yes, we have the tiebreaker, so if we keep winning and they keep winning, we are still ahead of the Cardinals, but that is also a game to keep an eye on as well. So that's a little bit of the NFL landscape that we're looking at right now. And Isaac, you are correct. Can't forget about Lazard's impact from the inline position. We are very much limited there. Again, with David Bakhtiari out, Josh Myers still not there. We don't have the blocking across the board that I would like us to have going into this game. I'm not super worried. The Vikings edge group is not what it used to be. This is not a defense that is going to give Aaron Rodgers that much trouble, in my opinion. I'm not scared of their defense. This is not a game where I'm worried about our offensive line performance. Our offensive line has not been great. But you need to understand that we're missing a very high-level rookie center and one of the best left tackles the game has seen in the last 10 years. So when you're missing that, it makes it a little hard to actually get things done offensively. And the fact that the Packers have been able to survive is very impressive and will be okay. But yeah, Isaac, not having Lazard today is something that I don't want to see. Ravens all day long. I was talking to my girlfriend and a couple Bears fans yesterday, and the Bears fans were predicting, I believe, 31-28 win for the Bears. My friend Damon said that it's going to be basically, can Lamar Jackson throw, or can Justin Fields score as many touchdowns as Lamar Jackson turnovers? I don't see that happening. That's just not going to happen. Murray back. Oh, for Baltimore? Is that what you're asking? Because if you're asking about Baltimore, I have absolutely no idea. I don't think it matters. I think Bears get slapped. Either way. Lamar Jackson is out versus Bears due to illness. Really? Hold up. Breaking news. Lamar is out? Hold up. Is that true? Oh my goodness. Wait. Is it COVID? Does Lamar have COVID? Because that could be very bad. Hold up. Let me take a look at this. Lamar Jackson is officially inactive today versus the Bears. Tyler Huntley will start. Wow. Even then, I don't care. The Bears are still going to get clapped. But breaking news from Paige. Thank you for that. Arizona. Yeah, Arizona going to beat the Seahawks. I'm not super worried about that. It's just a game to keep an eye on. Filling on FanDuel and it said not available due to illness. Wow. That is breaking news. That is definitely something for around the NFL. Okay, so hopefully you guys know this quote. Hopefully we get a how can you not be romantic about football moment from Aaron Rodgers today? That's my hope. That's my bold prediction. That's my hope. We're going to see if we actually get that. I'm not sure. I honestly, this is one of those games where I'm like, they don't scare me, but like it's a divisional game, and it's not a game. It's not a game that I want to walk into. I'm not going to say it's a trap game, but I'm also not going to say Packers walk all over everyone and win this. So just be careful about that. But let's see. I believe it's time for offensive keys to the game. I think we can go there. I think we're ready for that. So first and foremost, again, if you're on Twitter, Facebook, comments do not move over very well to StreamYard for me to see it right now. So make sure that you're going over to YouTube, comment on there. That's the best place for me to see your comments. I can go onto Facebook a little bit and take a look at those comments, but it's a little harder for me to do that. So offensive keys to the game for the Green Bay Packers. Allen Lazard and Aaron Jones both out. Aaron Rodgers limited. A.J. Dillon running back 1. Here's what I need. This is something I said last week, and I looked Matt LaFleur in the eyes, looked at the camera, said, Matt LaFleur, I need you to call the type of football game that this game warrants. And that sounds really obvious and it sounds really stupid, and I understand that. But I need Matt LaFleur to stay inside this game plan. I need Matt LaFleur to understand when to run the football, when to throw the football. And I need him to stick to that. One of the biggest consistent things that I've seen when the Green Bay Packers lose is Matt LaFleur will come to the podium and say, we didn't have the energy and it was bad play calling by me. They did a lot this week to make sure that their veterans had the energy. They did a lot of veteran rest days. They did a lot of limited work in practice because they wanted to make sure that after they're going to have a really late bye week. And Matt LaFleur wanted to make sure that this team was able to keep up and take care of themselves and make sure that they don't go down this week. So we have Vikings this week, Rams next week, and then we get the bye week. So I need Matt LaFleur to make sure that he doesn't come in flat to this game. And same thing will apply to the Rams next week. But offensively, I need them to come out firing right away. The Packers have struggled, especially in the first quarter this year, when that used to be the Matt LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers special, was they're going to score and they're going to score early and often in the first quarter. So I need some first quarter action. That's my first offensive key to the game. I need some first quarter action. And along with that comes Matt LaFleur calling the type of football game that he needs to call. And we can't keep the Minnesota Vikings in this football game. You keep Minnesota in this game, and it's going to lead to bad things for the Green Bay Packers. So you keep Minnesota in the game, it's not going to go well. And the way to do that is to score early, score often, make Kirk Cousins throw the football. You make Kirk Cousins throw the football 40, 45 times, and that's a football game the Green Bay Packers are going to win. So yes, A.J. Dillon is going to be very important in this football game, but one of the ways he's gotten involved a lot in the last few weeks is some screen action, some passing game. A.J. Dillon can catch the football and run with it, and he can do that very effectively. So I need Matt LaFleur to get A.J. Dillon involved, but that doesn't necessarily mean only running the football. This is not a game where I want to keep the opposing quarterback off the field. I don't want to keep him off the field. I want Kirk Cousins on the field because I think he's going to make mistakes to win Green Bay this game. It's not a game against a Tom Brady or a Russell Wilson or something like that where I want to keep them off the field. I want Kirk Cousins on the field. I want the man throwing the football because every time he throws the football, there's another chance for us to intercept him. And it's much more likely than some of the other guys we played. So my first offensive keys to the game, for those of you just joining, is I need the Packers to score early, score often. And part of that is I need Matt LaFleur to keep this team energized and make sure that the game plan he's throwing out there is the most efficient game plan, and that he sticks to whatever they talked about this week. Because Matt LaFleur has a tendency when the Packers lose games to go off script, get a little weird, and sometimes I don't even know what he's doing. Dan, I love you, my guy. I appreciate you. Thank you for joining. How you doing, Dan? How's life? What are your offensive keys to the game? Hit me with them. Kirk has been very efficient this year. All his mistakes come in the fourth quarter. Exactly. So he's been efficient, but I know Kirk Cousins. I know what's deep down inside there, and I know what that man is on. So I'm not afraid to let him go out there and sling the football for 4 quarters because he will make mistakes. I know he will. And yes, you are right. Minnesota always plays us tough. So this is a game where I need the Packers, especially offensively. That's where we set the tone. If we get the first half kickoff, I at least need some sort of points. I need something. Give me some points. Give me some early action, and we will be okay. My other offensive key to the game, honestly, is Devante Adams. So there was a stat today. Devante Adams, his last 2 games in Minnesota, has 27 catches, which is an NFL record for a single player, 2 consecutive road games catches, I believe, if that makes sense. So in 2 consecutive road games, in away player, total catches, Devante Adams, 27. That's the NFL record, which is pretty cool. So I need Devante Adams to have himself a game. He's not necessarily been quiet. He's been consistent. But I need him to have a little bit of an explosive game here. I need a vintage Rodgers and Adams day where there's nothing Minnesota can do to stop him. and all of the attention goes there. And then we get a 45, 50-yard A.J. Dillon run later in the game because they're triple teaming Devante Adams. That's what I need from the Packers offense today. So my offensive keys to the game are score early, score often, make sure Matt LaFleur has that game plan and the team ready to go. And then I need a vintage Rodgers and Adams performance. Rodgers still dealing with a toe. Yes, he is. And again, like I said earlier, Tom Pelissero said this is a toe injury that potentially could affect Rodgers for the rest of the year. They hope the bye week will combat some of that with some rest. I really am just curious where the toe injury came from, what he did, because I'm not sure, to be perfectly honest. I don't know where this came from. All I know is I started hearing this week that Rodgers was limited because of the toe. He's been getting some treatment. He's been getting some work in with the training staff on that, trying to make sure he was good to go for this week, and then trying to make sure that they can limit it as much as possible, protect him. Been doing some work specifically with what kind of protective shoe they can give him so that nothing happens during the game, stuff like that. So we'll see how that affects the Packers and how that affects Aaron Rodgers today. I think that'll be, you'll see it early and you'll see it right away if it does affect Green Bay, if it does affect the Packers. Let's see what Dan has to say. Honestly, unleash A.J. Dillon and work the play action like they do with Cook. With Rodgers' toe injury and Aaron Jones out, we need to go back to the basics. Yes, I agree with that. And I think A.J. Dillon being running back one is going to bring the safeties down. It's going to bring Harrison Smith down and force him to play more in the box. So if we can bring Harrison Smith down, make them play a lot more single high looks, that's something the Packers can exploit with MVS and Devante Adams. That's what we need to go for today. So offensively, I agree with what you say, Dan, 100%. So before we get to the defensive keys to the game, you guys know what's up. I'm going to play the MVS show commercial so I can grab a drink of water. Every Tuesday on Game on Wisconsin, we have Marquez Valdez-Scantling on the show. It's fantastic. He comes at 7 p.m. Central and tells everybody what's up about the Green Bay Packers, talks about his dogs. It's a great time. So make sure you tune in. I'll be right back after this for defensive keys to the game. You like that little Minnesota clip at the end? I do too. I like that little Minnesota clip at the end. I like it. I like it a lot. All right. So defensive keys to the game. I have one. It's very simple. And it's all you need to know. Stop Dalvin Cook. You stop this football team. Why did the Packers lose to Minnesota? Last time Packers lost to Minnesota, it's because Dalvin Cook went superhuman and ran all over them like A.J. Dillon running over a middle schooler. It was just sad, and it was a sad sight to see. I can't let that happen. So if I'm going to lose this football game, the only way I'm okay losing it is if Kirk Cousins beats us. If Kirk Cousins can go out there in Minnesota today and beat the Green Bay Packers, then you shrug your shoulders and say, okay. If Kirk Cousins goes out there and actually beats you throwing the football, like legitimately, not just little dink and dime screams at Dalvin Cook. I don't count that. That's Dalvin Cook beating you. That's not Kirk Cousins beating you. If Kirk Cousins goes out there in the fourth quarter and beats you, okay, deal. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing you can do about that. But that's not going to happen because Kirk Cousins has never in his life gone out there and just flat out beaten the Packers. Dalvin Cook does it for him. And yes, Dan. Yes, Dan. Over a middle schooler. It's the first, small person that popped into my head. I thought it was a safe age. You don't want to say kindergartner because that's bad for children and YouTube might get mad at me. I feel like middle schooler is a safe age. And most people don't like middle schoolers because they're really annoying. So I feel like most people would be okay with like the middle schooler they know getting run over by A.J. Dillon. That was my thought process for the 5 seconds that I thought about that. But yeah, defensive keys to the game. I only have one. Normally I have more than that. It's stop Dalvin Cook. Because again, Kirk Cousins is not just going to go out there, sling the football, and beat the Green Bay Packers. That's just not going to happen. So yeah, I didn't have much defensively. And let me guys know if you have any more defensive keys to the game. But realistically, I don't need much out of the Green Bay defense today. I need them to stop Dalvin Cook, and that is all. So once again, comment if you want to be featured, defensive keys to the game. Again, if you're watching on Twitter or Facebook, just a general note, those comments do not show up well. I don't see them on StreamYard. So make sure you go over to YouTube, comment there where Dan, Isaac, Paige, and the gang are all commenting, because that's where I see all of those comments from. The only other thing I do really want to talk about is the special teams. And this is a topic that I generally try to avoid for the most part because it doesn't go well for me and it doesn't go well for the Packers. But yes, let's talk about the special teams real quick. I don't want to do it, but I have to. Let's talk about the special teams real quick because Mason Crosby, the only other way in my mind that the Packers lose this game, other than Dalvin Cook going superhuman, which he is fully capable of, is some special teams mishap, whether that's a missed field goal at an important time, a muffed punt, something like that. So my special teams keys to the game, their names are Mason Crosby and Amari Rodgers. I don't want Amari Rodgers to ever try to do anything with a punt. Just catch it and sit down. Or just don't touch, just run away. Just let it bounce. I really don't care. Wherever the ball lands, wherever they down it, Aaron Rodgers can deal with it. I don't care if it's at the 1 yard line. I would rather be downed at the 1 yard line every single time than you catch the football and drop it. That's a fact. Just let it fall and run away. Don't even put Amari Rodgers on the field. Just rush 11. Just full force punt block every time. That way there's not even a chance that it hits him on his way out of bounds running off the field. Just don't do it. I don't want to see it. I'm going to see it, and it's going to drive me crazy, but I don't want to see it. And then Mason Crosby apparently hit a 58-yard field goal in warm-up. So we'll see. He's in a dome. We'll see how that goes for him. I really only see the Packers losing this game if Dalvin Cook goes crazy or if Mason Crosby or Amari Rodgers or someone on special teams screws something up. Those are the only ways, in my opinion, that I can see the Packers losing this football game. We'll see what happens, obviously, but that's what's going on in my head. 226 yards and 4 touchdowns last time the Vikings beat the Packers. Stick to man coverage, and Devondre is a spy. Cousins is a sneaky mobile quarterback. Yeah, I mean, I'm not super worried about Cousins running, but again, if he wants to run and like himself try to beat the Packers with his own legs, go for it. Go for it. Isaac, you have a very good point. We cannot lose another defender today. Rashawn Gary is out. Jair Alexander is still out. Zadarius Smith is still out. So especially if we lose another starter, as much as I hate on Kevin King, still nice to have a semi-usable body there. So don't want to lose someone like that. So that's a good point, Isaac. I appreciate you bringing that up because that's definitely something that we need to be careful of. Dakota says we got this for sure. I feel like we're going to dominate. Go Pat, go. Appreciate you hopping in, Dakota. I really hope we do dominate. I think that would, obviously, I'm down for that. I'm 100% all in for the Packers to dominate. I just don't think it's going to be a game that the Packers just absolutely destroy the Vikings. I think it will more be late touchdown for the Vikings, makes it look closer than it is. But who knows, again, with an NFC North matchup. So with that, let me know if you guys have any bold predictions for Green Bay at Minnesota. My bold prediction is going to be another interception from Eric Stokes. That's my defensive bold prediction. And then my offensive bold prediction is going to be Devante Adams, 100 yards and a touchdown. Those are my two predictions. And then I will give a special teams bold prediction because I'm feeling spicy on this Sunday morning. Mason Crosby will not miss a field goal. Yeah, Mason Crosby will not miss a field goal. I was going to throw something else in there, but I'm not feeling that spicy. So we're going to go Mason Crosby will not miss a field goal today. And with my score prediction, he actually is kicking a field goal. So he is kicking a field goal in my score prediction, and he will not miss it 100%. Stokes on Jefferson, King on Thielen. I like that, Dakota. Man coverage would also help with the play action. Leaves Cousins with low options. Yeah, Stokes can hang with Jefferson. I'm not worried about that. And then Campbell holds Cook in check. Like, honestly, like Dakota and Dan are saying, we have matchups defense. Like, I'm really not worried about that. I really am just worried about the special teams. So those are my three bold predictions. Offense, Tay gets 100 and a touchdown. Defense, Stokes gets an interception. Special teams, Mason Crosby does not miss a field goal. And with that, so I want to wrap up so I can get you guys to go watch the game. Week 11, the Green Bay Packers at the Minnesota Vikings at US Bank Stadium in Minnesota. Green Bay 31, Vikings 27. Again, I think this is going to be technically a close game, but I think it'll be a late touchdown by the Vikings. You know, it's 31-20, 4 minutes left. Vikings get a touchdown, something like that. So let me know your score predictions. Let me know, your final thoughts on Packers versus Vikings. Once again, this is an NFC North matchup. So Dakota, I know you're confident. I believe everybody in this chat right now is confident, as I am as well. I just want to make sure that we're tempering our expectations a little bit because this is an NFC North game. This is a divisional matchup, and these two teams know each other very, very well. Mike Zimmer is going to have his boys ready to play, just like Matt LaFleur is. So a lot of energy, a lot of emotion going forward. But I do think Green Bay wins 31-27. That's what I'm looking at. So with that, this has been the pre-snap at Game On Wisconsin. My name is MJ Hurley. I appreciate you guys all watching as always. I love the comments. I love the interaction. I love it all. Dan, Dakota, Isaac, Food Stamp, all of you, Paige, love you all. Thank you for watching. Go Pat, go. I will be back here about 30 minutes after the game for the post route. You know where to find me. As always, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We had MVS, Kenny Clark, and Randall Cobb all on Game On Wisconsin in the last week. We are doing great things. We are doing very big things. And you're going to want to make sure that you're tuning along for the ride. So thank you for watching. Once again, follow me on Twitter at MJ Hurley Sports, and I'll be back 30 minutes after the game. Enjoy it. Go grab a beer, some pizza, whatever you need to do, and watch the Packers hopefully pull out a victory. So thank you for watching. I'll talk to you guys later.